Well, today there's been heavy rain here in Israel. More significantly, there's been heavy rain in Gaza, and that's going to add to the concerns about the already dire humanitarian situation there, with 3/4 of the population displaced, many people living in tents. Today, the Israeli army has said that it's taken control of the Al-Shati camp in northern Gaza. That means its forces pushing down the Gaza Strip pushing from north to south are going to be able to meet up with others who have cut across the strip from east to west. But even as the military advances, there's really no clarity on what the plan is for Gaza the day after the operation ends. America wants the Palestinian Authority based out of the occupied West Bank to assume control. But in recent days, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ruled that out, to the apparent annoyance of officials from the US and from regional Arab countries, who of course are going to be key to any kind of reconstruction and stabilization effort in Gaza afterwards.
And Secunder, there's also been some tragic news today about one of the Israelis who was thought to have been a hostage.
Yeah, that's right. Vivian Silva was a committed peace activist. She spent much of her life campaigning for Palestinian rights. Even the day of the attack by Hamas on October the 7th, she was on the phone to a radio station from her safe room in her community of Kibbutz Be'eri, making the case for peace. Her son, Yonatan, who we've spoken to a number of times on this program, had hoped that she had been abducted, that she was still alive. Instead, today, we got the news that she had been killed during that rampage by Hamas militants on October the 7th. Now, families of other Israelis who had been taken hostage to Gaza have today begun a march from Tel Aviv towards Jerusalem. There are still reports swirling around about a possible deal for a large number of hostages to be released, but so far there's been nothing concrete that's come out from that.
Everyone, they chant, bring them home now. On the long road heading to Jerusalem, some of the families of the close to 240 Israeli hostages taken to Gaza.
Tell me, why was it so important for you guys to come here today?
It's our aunt. If it was your aunt, you would do it too.
Of course.
You won't leave her there.
See how she took her on a motorcycle.
72-year-old Adina was kidnapped from her home in Kibbutz near Oz. Her husband murdered.
Do you feel like at the moment enough is being done to bring them home?
I want to believe.
Difficult question.
And it's a difficult question. I want to believe, and this is why we're shouting to everyone that know that it's a lot of time. She's 72 years old. There is babies. There is children, 3 years old, 4 years old. That children without a mother, mother without the children. We have to do everything to bring them home now.
They'll be marching all week, arriving outside the offices of the Prime Minister on Saturday.
There's a lot of pain here. There is also a sense of anger. Many people in Israel are frustrated. They feel that the safety of the hostages has not been enough of a priority for this government throughout this war. They want to know what's being done to bring them home. At the same time, the families are treading a little carefully. They don't want their cause to be overshadowed by fractious political debate.
I demand Benjamin Netanyahu and his cabinet give us answers and show us some actions. Shelley, mother of a young man, Omar, abducted from the music festival, cries out. We have no strength left.
Our life stopped at October 7. It's like black, you know? Black. We not sleep, we are not eating, nothing.
And is there anything tangible that you want the government to do? I mean,
I'm not a politician, I'm a mother. I'm a mother. And no mother in all over the world needs to feel like I feel.
There are reminders of the missing dotted around Tel Aviv. There's been talk of an exchange for Palestinian prisoners or for a pause in the fighting. But no one here is calling for a ceasefire. Members of some of the Arab political parties in Israel tried to hold a rally calling for peace last week, but were detained by police.
We wanted to have a very small demonstration, less than 50 people, holding one sign, saying in the three languages, "Stop the war." That's all. The minute I went down from my car, I was attacked by police forces that were there, and they were pushing me.
As we speak, sirens warning of rockets sound out. Many in this community, a fifth of Israel's population, feel caught in the middle of this conflict, afraid of being sacked from their jobs or facing legal action just for expressing sympathy for civilians in Gaza.
The space to be critical of Israeli policy, even from within the system, is that shrinking now?
Since the 7th of October, there is no more freedom of expression or any other kind of freedoms or rights in the state of Israel. The state and the society is so militarized, nobody is ready to hear any narrative or any story or to see things different than what is said or told to them by the spokesperson of the Israeli army.
Much of the rest of the world is focused on the devastation wrought in Gaza. But Israelis are still living through their own suffering. Now they're beginning to demand answers from their leaders.